Whoa, it's the Yewllusion reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. Going over to my dentist. Gotta get a cavity filled. Old filling. Not a new cavity. Old filling from like 30 years ago. Needs a little touch up. So I was thinking more about this algorithm unfairness. And I also read, someone sent me this trippy article where there's, they kind of tie together with where I'm coming from. So the algorithm unfairness, and then I read this other article today about how GLAAD is like one of the, I don't know, pro-inclusive groups. And they did a poll where they went and polled youth, and the youth are showing a decline in acceptance. They're not that fired up on it. And the numbers are dropping about how the next generation's viewing acceptance. And you read the article, and it's all about how it must be propaganda that people aren't accepting the freak show. It's not the freak show that people just don't want to be part of. It's propaganda hyping non-acceptance. And so what I think the algorithm unfairness and this have an interesting thing. They keep thinking that people want to have ideas forced upon them and have lifestyles forced upon them. And people don't. Your average person does not want to be told what or how to do something unless they are asking what or how to do something. And I find it very interesting because that's why there's the algorithmic unfairness, is because they don't seem to get that nobody wants their agenda. And it's not about people not being tolerant. I'm super tolerant. I could care less what people are doing in their own houses. But I don't need to know either. And that's the thing, is and the underlying current is that of this whole thing is that people are stupid. That somehow, if they just push enough of their agenda, that's gonna do it. People are just gonna fall in line and be like, oh, okay, let me hand off my children to your weirdness. And again, I don't have an issue with what people do. I'm pretty convinced that if you want to raise healthy children, you need a healthy family. It seems pretty obvious. I think all the information will prove that. And so if you want a healthy society, you want healthy children, and you want cohesiveness, which is all about tolerance. So anyway, I was reading this thing, and it was so unable to look inward. And it's just like the people at Google, so caught in their own echo chamber, thinking they know best, and not understanding that what's really going on is people are just sick and tired of the fraud, of the corruption, of the lying and the deceit and the snake oil salesman and the BS, and being told what to think and what to do when and where. People are over it. It's 2019. You can't live in a society that claims to be open and free and yet be trying to force people to think a certain way. It's just counterproductive. And we're discovering that. That's why I celebrate reading these articles, because ultimately their thing's gonna fail. Their big inclusive clusterfuck is gonna fail. It really is. Because people on just human instinct do not want to be told what to do. It's a survival mechanism. It's that simple. And so I find it very interesting that the least tolerant people in our society right now are the ones screaming at everyone to be tolerant. It's so bizarre. We live in such an interesting time. It's very, I don't get how anyone can claim being bored. And I don't get how anyone can stick their head in the sand at this point and claim that the big wheels aren't trying to manipulate your mind with their technology. They are out to mess with your head. I mean, that's the underlying thing that you get from this article about GLAAD and their survey of the youth. They are definitely trying to push propaganda on your children to make them inclusive, which means messed up. They are definitely trying to make your children messed up. And they're deliberately doing it, and they're deliberately doing it on the big picture too. And that's what we get to see with these recent developments is the truth must reveal itself. And the truth is that they are trying to mess with your head, and they're trying to mess with your children's head because they don't really want you to know the truth. Is that you as an individual are more powerful than all of their little weirdness. Because once you stop looking to them for any sort of answers and guidance, they cease to exist. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm more hopeful now than and this is sort of on a side thing. So there's this interesting channel I stumbled on last night, the Indigo Traveler, and the dude went down to Venezuela and is traveling around. And it's pretty raw, but what's really interesting is the one thing that, and it clicked on me on it, what it was is they were talking about how nobody in Venezuela can use cash anymore because of inflation. Like the inflation, they can't carry around enough cash to buy stuff. I mean, besides that they're starving down there. So everybody's paying for everything with debit cards. And I was like, oh, that's another one of these weird society ways they're doing it. They're kind of going the Northern European model of cashless society, but they're also using the full poverty-stricken super inflation version for the cashless society. I thought it was very interesting because the thing was really about just what was going on in Venezuela and this guy kind of traveling around and showing how gnarly it is. But I picked up the one thing that Venezuela is moving to being a cashless society due to hyperinflation. I think that's interesting. The mark of the beast is coming, people. It's all right here, right now. So get your house in order. Check your soul. Know what team you're playing on, man. Because if you don't know, you will be easily swayed by their weirdo propaganda. And if you know what team you're playing on, they have no game. Zero game. Anyways, the Yewllusion. Just driving over to my dentist. Thought I'd share some thoughts. I don't know if they were totally coherent, but we're working on it. And hey, links down below, thumbs up. Let's break the algorithm, support the channel, donations, art, t-shirts, all that good stuff. Links down below. All right, have a beautiful name. Use the name tags. I'm out.